Hello and welcome back to Minecraft. Well, this isn't a normal video at all. Rather, in my world today, zombies have taken over. Every single villager, every single player is a zombie and I am the only one left. Now, I've got to try and survive with nature, so crocodiles and all sorts of different nasty animals, as well as hordes of zombies. I also have limited resources to deal with, so I have to lock in and try and fight without getting pressured too much. Right, well, I'm going to stop talking now while this game loads. Now, when I first loaded in, I got to say, things went fast. I spawned in like this. Whoa, 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 okay, we're straight into it. There's zombies here. Okay. Whoa. Now, I don't know if you guys saw it the first part there, but there was actually 2 zombies. So at this point, I'm sneaking around, really trying to not get caught by the zombie and also trying to find it. Trying to lure it out almost. Mr. Zombie. And with that, I had successfully killed the 2 zombies in this area with me. Now, don't mind my PvP and my fighting skills. I don't play Minecraft. I began by just looting the place and trying to find whatever I can to try and, well, survive, as I didn't actually have that much loot. It might have looked like it, but I only had an axe that has really low durability and 9 pieces of bread. The gun, I have a gun, but they're just a death wish. If you shoot them, every zombie's going to know exactly where you are. After some time, I then realised that there's only one way out, which is through these ladders, so I headed up them, wondering what's going to be waiting for me on the outside. Now, once I got up, I noticed that it's almost like a really rusty bunker in one of my least favourite biomes, the snow biome. Almost impossible to live in, and the hills make it even worse to traverse. Now, I did notice that where I wasn't just any hills, it was almost like a big valley surrounded by snowy mountains. After heading down to a certain point, I found a mine shaft. Now, this mine shaft could have been very dangerous. I didn't have my headphones on for a fair while and I couldn't hear much, but luckily I did because otherwise these zombies would have snuck up on me after I got stuck in string. Uh-oh. Now, obviously because I'm so strong, I dealt with them by running away. But I'm just kidding. I come back and showed off my amazing PvP skills, obviously, as you can see. Dream, come at me. After dealing with them and collecting my prize, I then headed off, trying to find somewhere else to go. After making my way through the valley and climbing up one of the hills, I found huge structures like a giant power tower and a huge wind turbine. Look at that. It's massive. But this didn't stop me. I just kept voyaging on by, skipping past them, trying to find a place where I can call home or survive for a night at least. As time was running out, night was coming. Now, after what felt like 10 minutes of running, I found something I really couldn't imagine I would find. At first, all I saw were these brown little dots and I thought they were dogs. But once I got closer, I was really wrong. What are these? Oh, there's a heap of dogs. Oh no, these are monkeys. Why is there monkeys in the middle of nowhere? That is a great question, because I'm pretty sure monkeys belong in the jungle, let alone these baboons. But interesting to say the least. I was not expecting that in this mod pack. Pretty cool, I guess. Onwards with my journey, after I have a look at this massive cave. Although my running was suddenly stopped, my exploring come to a halt when I come across this ledge and I found a massive crater with a massive building. This place was complete ruins. I took a closer look with my binoculars and it was just mossy and run down, and from this view it didn't look that bad. It wasn't until I had a look over the other side that I realised exactly how destroyed this place was. In my words, what I said was, it looks like a nuclear strike here or something. Look, it's just been demolished here. This just had a massive hole. I thought this could give me an easy chance to find some loot. So I began scoping around trying to find easy loot, but I got distracted by a certain little humming. I only found out it was a stupid little bird. But I did find some loot. Now, this loot I found, I did notice there was a zombie spawner right next to it, so I knew that was off limits. I was just going to call it quits and I was going to walk away from this building. So I made sure to look at my cords and save it, and off I went, back on my journey. Which lasted a whole of 2 seconds before I found a tree, and discovered it was actually a cool mod that allows the trees to fall, like real ones. Now with this wood I decided, you know what, I'm going back to that place, and that's exactly what I did. Went around the side, found a spot to perch up, and I started bridging across. But once I got onto the building, it was very eerie, because it was just run down and I was expecting heaps of zombies to run out, but it was dead. There was no zombies. And it really surprised me. But at the same time, I wasn't taking chances, so you already know I blocked that shit up. But still, it was just amazing to me that this big building and it was just nothing. Speaking of nothing, the chests were empty. There was no loot. So I was in this building for no reason. But I thought, after looking around the outside, I realised that the only chests with loot are the ones with the gold trim. So I simply just finished off exploring this entire floor, and well, there was still, once again, was just nothing. I thought about taking these blast furnaces, but well, I didn't have a pickaxe, so there wasn't a whole lot I could do. I took one last look outside and realised that, yep, it is definitely out of reach for me. So I packed up my ideas and I actually decided to hit the road for real this time. So I kept on exploring, but when I got on top of this hill, I saw the sun just in the corner of my eye, and I realised I've got no time left. The sun is disappearing and the moon is coming. Now there's this big hill, and now I wasn't taking any chances. I knew the water was my safest bet, so I just jumped. In I went. Now once I was in the water, I actually didn't have a game plan. Until about, a couple minutes later when I thought, oh, maybe I should make a boat. Because my idea was just to float around the river and try and survive. So that's exactly what I did. Made a boat and I floated around. Now, to my surprise, this place was actually a dead end on both sides. So it was a matter of just swimming around and trying to dodge all these zombies in the water, which looks harder than what it actually was. It was pretty easy, I'll be honest with you guys. But still, it was annoying. So I simply just built up my courage, and I just found a bank and I launched up it. Now this was like a make or break moment. It was either this video continues or I die doing this. So I got out the boat and I just sprinted as fast as I can up into the forest, praying that no zombies are going to come around the corner at me. And did they? Yes, of course they did. There was heaps of zombies. I just kept running and just kept ignoring them. Like that one there. I sort of just didn't even want to react to him. I just kept going. Now, up here, I did actually get a jump scare by one, but I wasn't expecting it. Very close, very scary. One of the few moments I nearly got in danger. Now, up ahead, I did find a big tower. Now, I was like, oh, score, I have a place to stay. But it wasn't until I got closer, I realized this big tower has a mob spawner. So I dipped as fast as I could because I was not dealing with all that. Now, after some more running, I found water again. Now I thought, well, the night can't be much longer, so I hopped back in the boat, thinking I'll just survive the rest of the night on the water. Now, did this work? Yeah, kind of. It was... Oh my God, I didn't really find anything interesting while I was going along, at least not in the night. The night was quite, well, dead. But after much more time on the water, the sun was rising. Now, I wasn't going to waste any time with this day. Before the sun even fully came up, I was already out of that boat and I was on land making moves. I was not wasting time. As the sun came up, I was still running, just running as fast as I can through the forest, but finally, I saw something I've been waiting for this entire time, life. So of course, I murdered all of it. I found 2 chickens, and in the corner, there was a pig. Oh, I was having the best of my life, just killing everything. Now, I went through the forest just murdering every animal I saw, but then when I got up this hill, something looked too familiar. Remember that power pole and the wind turbine from earlier? Yeah, well, I found it again, and was I furious? Oh my God. In the end, I pretty much just cracked this shit, and I said to myself, not running in one direction. So that's what I did. I just ran in one direction until it looked different. And when I got down here, I actually saw what looks to be a city in the background. But I didn't see this, and I decided against going over there, and I decided to hop in the water and turn back around where I come from and try and go elsewhere, because I was not prepared for a big place like that. Now, once I landed, I really had no clue what I was doing here. I was really confused what I needed to do. I had no clue. Now, I would like to just say at this point, if you're still watching this video and you like how this is going, let me know if I should do some more videos like this, as this is my first ever attempt at these. So if I've done alright, please let me know, and I guess keep watching. That's all I have to say. This is, yay. Anyway, back to it. So as I was running up here, I sort of come across another one of them big buildings that look like they've been blown to bits. Now, whether or not there's any sort of story to these buildings, and if I can find like almost like some sort of log or something that happened inside of them to add to the lore, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll find out. If this video does well, we'll do it again. But before we do that, I murdered this family of cows. They were just peacefully living, but I was a hungry boy. I needed food, and I was scared I was going to run out of food. But through my eyes might have deceived me at first with that bush, but I had finally made it to a new biome. This took unbelievably long to get to a whole new biome and a whole new place. This looked to be of like a savanna almost, because it was really dry, but also tropical at the same time. Really weird place, but it was nice at the same time. There was also big anthills just to add in. Now, after running for a bit in this savanna, I actually come across what looks to be almost a highway that leads to a big city. But in the corner of my eye, I also saw 2 buildings over on the hill. Now, these had to have had loot, so I was definitely going over it at some point. But I just didn't know what would have more loot, the highway or them 2 buildings. So I surveyed the highway, but I really could not see loot, so I went over to get a closer look. And there was also elephants, which is also pretty epic. Upon looking over there, I really could not find any loot. So now I had the decision, how do I get over to the other side? Would I go the fun way? So I just took a jump. And this jump nearly cost me the entire video. One block like closer, this video would have been over, and I would have just lost nearly an hour's progress. But I kept climbing up, just traversing up this hill, which felt like 20 years coming up, because I don't know why, but this mod pack's just so difficult to traverse. But anyway, we come across the first building, and here I was thinking, oh, this is our first payday, we're getting a lot. Only to find 1 iron. Like, what is that? What am I meant to do with 1 iron? Make a shovel? Luckily though, for us, there was the other building. Now, was I praying this building had more? Of course I was. Why wouldn't I be? I was broke and I needed a bit of help. And after this long spiral staircase, we got up there and it had 2 more bits of iron. Now this might just seem like, oh, it's just 2 bits of iron, but I now could make a pickaxe. An iron pickaxe to be exact. Now, I could have easily made a wooden or a stone, I don't know why I didn't, but this is cooler, I guess. Now, I did look at the time and realised the time was running out. For some reason, I still decided to go and explore. So off I went, and while on my journey, I come across something a bit familiar to me personally as I'm Australian, and it was kangaroos. So that was pretty cool to see, but I kind of skipped right past them, I don't know why. Now, after exploring, I did notice there's that highway actually did lead to a whole city, and it was also a cherry blossom biome. Now, I love the cherry blossom trees, so that's why I was looking around trying to figure out how I can get there. But I also didn't pay any attention to how close the sun is getting to coming down. But there's also one thing I didn't really pay attention to, and that is one thing in the sky that I don't know how I didn't see. But upon looking closer, what is that? There's just a floating thing in the sky. I really don't know what that is. I have to check that out next time. But anyway, so back onto it, and this is when I sort of noticed that, hang on, it's getting a bit dark. You can't see it in the video, but for some reason my eyes were telling me it was getting dark, so I started heading back. I sprinted as fast as I can. Hello, so it is actually 8 PM on Saturday the 24th. This video is ending here now because I actually ran out of time to edit the other hour and 10 minutes to go along with this, so it'll be a separate video. I just want to say thank you for watching to the end. If you enjoyed, please let me know, because this is my first ever time doing like a third person video. Hope you guys have a great day. See you and goodbye.